Morning everyone, it's ORP. We're here with another video. Today I'm going to be taking apart the Blazer's engine, or getting it ready to take it out. Meaning I'm going to be taking off the fuel system, the oil, and just getting everything out of the engine so I could just get ready to pull it out and go through the engine again. Now the reason I'm taking it out of the Blazer is because it's burning oil. I noticed that there's like a misfire, so I'm not too sure if the oil is coming from the cylinder heads, the valve guides, or the valve guide seals, or possibly the piston rings are gone because I've put the engine through some harsh and abuse moments. And yeah, so we're gonna find out what's wrong with it in the near future, probably like a month or two from now. But yeah, this video is gonna be just showcasing what I'm taking off and what I put on the Blazer's engine to make it run the way. I'm right here in the engine bay of the Blazer. I'm gonna be taking off the Holley Sniper EFI system, and of course some other things that are on the engine, like the thermostat housing or the water hoses. I got the distributor out already. The headers are undone already. The accessory drive's already off. The transmission and transfer case I took off about 2 months ago because my transmission would pop out of second gear. So I'm using the SM465 standard or manual stick shift, and you have low gear, first gear, second gear, and third gear. And whenever I go into second gear, it'll pop out. That could be probably because of the worn out synchros or just a bad overall transmission, as it's probably had a long life and abuse while it was used at its time. But have a new one or a brand used one, getting ready for the Blazer as well. I'm debating on going twin stick for the 205 system. We had it before, but I didn't do it correctly, as you have to change out the shift rails and modify them in order for the twin stick to work. But that'll be in a later video. But for right now, we're just gonna focus on the motor and taking off whatever I did to the motor, and yeah, we're just gonna go on about that. You have the Holley Sniper. This is a big block Chevy 454 as it started, but it's been bored out 30 over with some 10-1 pistons, thumper cam in it, 049 big oval port heads, some headers, Summit Racing SFI approved balancer. We put a Gen 5 serpentine system on it, as we don't want the belts flying off at high RPM. So we had to tap the heads for that, for the threads, as they're different size, as the newer Gen 5 accessory bolts are bigger. And yeah, just gotta undo the oil feed lines and the grounds on it, and yeah, we'll get to it. The whole truck, the whole engine bay, once the motor's out, I'm gonna go through it again, clean it up a lot nicer, make it nice, and take out the AC as it doesn't work and we don't need it. And I'll run the intake through the cab, as I don't want any mud or dirt to get in the engine. All right, guys, so yeah, I'm right here under the truck, taking off the starter so I can get the engine out. As you can see, there's everything. The flywheel's off, the clutch is off. Another way, just a fun fact for you guys, you could tell which kind of block you have. It's in the back of the blocker. There's a casting number. It'll be backwards, but this one says 445, so that's what kind of block that I have. Usually these come out of trucks or RV sometimes. Some of them are out of the original LS6 that came in the Chevelles or Novas, I think. As I have one in my K10. That's an original LS6 block, a 4-bolt main. But this is a 2-bolt main block, which means on the main caps for the crankshaft, there's only 2 bolts. As for my K10, there's 4 bolts holding it. And that don't mean that it's stronger, but it's still good for like a street strip application. But yeah, I'm gonna be taking on my starter. I will be putting a different starter, as I want to put like a smaller starter, as the header is kind of in the way. But a couple of things are gonna change, as I'm gonna go with the fender wall headers made by Mad Dog, as I have another pair already. So it'll give it like a little bit of more breathing room and just a better overall look with it. And I won't have to worry about my starter overheating with the heat from the exhaust itself. But yeah, a couple hours later, the engine's out. This is a 454 base block. It's a Chevy motor. As far as it is, it's a 445 block 2-bolt main out of a 80s K30 that caught on fire a while back. But Has a double roller timing chain from Comp Cams, I think. A Comp Thumper cam with a flat tappet with an Edelbrock Performer RPM intake. 049 heads. It's a fireproof Summit balancer. And roller tip rockers. 10-to-1 pistons or 10.5-to-1. They're pop-up pistons, but they have about 30cc dome to them. Let's see what else. That's about it for the motor. I mean, nothing special. Just I guess you could say a good street motor as it was built for. But I'm gonna be going a little bit bigger on the bore as it's only 30 over right now. But I have to come up with some ideas on what I want to do with it. I mean, ultimately, I would want to get a 496 because of the torque gains and the horsepower gains you can get from it. But I think I most likely I'm gonna stick with a stock stroke and a stock crank. But I do want to make this a nice motor, meaning like a good, long-lasting, reliable engine, good RPMs, and just a overall really very reliable engine that would put out a lot of horsepower and torque. But for that, I'm gonna accomplish that by like putting a 60 over bore, which would make it a 468. I think I burnt some of the valves, so that's why it's giving me oil burning issues. As I look at the valve stems, some of them are like they're like there's different colors on them. But so I'll put bigger valves in it, open up the heads a little bit on the ports, maybe. I'm not too sure. I want to put a way bigger camshaft. As the lift, the max lift on the cam I have right now is 500 thousandths lift, which is barely even opening the heads, as these heads have a lot more to offer, I would say. So I might want to go somewhere in the 550 lift range, and I want to stay in the 240 duration at 50, or maybe drop down to the 230s. But I still want a broad RPM range from about like 1500 all the way to 6500. And I do want to get the rotating assembly balance so I could rev to like 7 grand. Not to 7 grand, but just have like a nice motor that'll go through the RPMs like nothing. And since this is gonna be a mud truck build, I want to get there as fast as possible within the RPMs to get my power range and also the wheel speed as well. But for my distributor setup, I have it. It's in the truck right now, but it's a MSD Pro Billet HEI distributor. And I'm gonna still be sticking with the Holley EFI sniper system. And off the top of my head, I think I'm gonna go put on my Mad Dog headers that I have around. And I mean, the motor mounts still look good. They're made by Energy suspension. They still look good. Everything else seems to look good. I have to work on my power steering system. It's leaking a bit. Just a regular Mark IV block, an original Mark IV big block Chevy block, which is I think was one of the best blocks ever made by GM factory. I don't know if you get into those crazy blocks that like a 4.5 bore spacing or 4.600 bore. But I think this is a good block, as the block itself is thicker. As you can see at the water jackets are like a circle, while the Gen 5s and Gen 6 open up a lot more. So I think this is a good block in the casting itself and the generation, or I guess you could say the generation of the big block Chevys that they offered. So that's about it, guys. But the motor's out. I'm gonna be giving a couple people a call tomorrow to see where I'm gonna get the motor done at. I'll let you guys keep you guys updated on what camshaft I'm gonna go with, what kind of pistons, what work gets done to the heads, and so forth. But that's gonna be pretty much it for this video, I guess you could say. I couldn't film us taking the engine out as there's like a lot of stuff's going on. Had to take off the tires because the engine hose couldn't reach. But that's about it for right now. So we'll see you in the next one.